But the pulses prices also have stubbornly kept on the higher side. The harvest season in India is around Jan and the imports are expensive at this point in time. Remember, the government had banned chana trading in June, and despite that, since then, the prices have gained nearly 25 to 30%. The prices have kept high during festivities as well. But let's get in Praveen Dongre, Chairman of India Pulses and Grains Association, who joins us now to talk about pulses and how they have been in the previous year and expectation going ahead. Mr. Dongre, hi, good to have you. How would you summarize the move in pulses? Because we've seen all-time highs and then a correction, the government intervention, a lot of measures as well. How would you summarize the pulses in last 1 year now?
There were very high prices last year. The government has taken some very healthy measures. They put stock restrictions in certain states. The Prime Minister went overseas and signed memorandums of understanding with the government in Zimbabwe, with the government in Tanzania. We had the visit of the Agriculture Minister to Argentina and Brazil. Subsequently, the Brazilian Agriculture Minister came here. So all of concerted effort to build a 2 million ton buffer stock. I think all of this as a combination of factors has cooled prices down. Of course, you know, big prices drive to big crops, and we are very hopeful that in the coming year, seeing the prices that the farmers have seen, we will have a very large migration of acreage towards pulses, and I would assume that we will end up with a record crop. The government numbers that they are targeting is 20 million, and I am very sure with the monsoon that we have seen, we will see that number.
Well, yes, there have been some positives, a good monsoon, a good acreage, and of course the expectation of a record crop as well. But what further would you suggest the government should do to increase the acreage or savings from here on? Because pulses for the longest time has been a sector which really hasn't been attended to.
I think what we need is modernization in the process of handling, logistics and milling, which will probably have a saving factor of 5 to 7%, and this move should be supported by the government.
How would you see now the prices moving ahead? Because we've seen the prices keeping slightly higher during the festival season as well, and pulses really has been a bit of a contention with all the governments taking a lot of steps like stock limits, as you pointed, and higher imports creating a buffer stock as well.
I think we will see a year of low and moderate prices. Primarily because we are going to harvest record crops ourselves. As I said earlier, that we are looking at a 20 million ton figure this year. Parallelly, all origin countries have harvested record crops. There is a 4.2 million ton crop of yellow peas in Canada. Australia is harvesting 1.2 million tons of chickpeas. So all origins, Africa has had a good tour crop. So all origins will harvest large crops, and I think the availability will be plentiful, and origins will have to buy into the market share at destination, which in effect means we will see lower prices.
You know, apart from that, what is your sense on the Rabi crop? Because the Kharif numbers are looking good, and the water reservoirs, as you said, the monsoon has been quite good as well. Would you say that that augurs well for the Rabi output and Rabi crop going ahead?
Water table is very high. The water reservoir levels throughout the country are at one of their highest in the last few years, and with some winter rains, I think a lot of marginal and fallow land will come under the till, and I think this will all go towards pulses, and the big shift in production will be in pulses. So I'm very optimistic that even our Rabi crop of pulses will be a record crop, and hence I stick my neck out and say that we will be probably crossing the 20 million ton number in India.
All right, Mr. Dongre, we'll let you go at that. Really appreciate you coming by. That is the view then coming in from Praveen Dongre, that this crop is expected at record highs, and the Rabi crop expectations for pulses especially are much on the higher side.